Want to be held in your arms and let you hear the song. The location, that's where you reach me tonight. The location, touch me in my heart, that's right. Yeah, you know what time it is. In our lab we get Angified. In our lab we get Angified. Every night at 9. Let's go and be Angified. Angified. On the lab at 9. Hi, I'm Angified. I started Angified Presents.
We share the love of music.
It has been medicine and therapy. Nothing else worked.
It has saved many of us. With mental health, we need to open our eyes.
Hurt people.
We ask that you listen, comprehend, and relate with your ears.
Form that heart of unity and one.
We share on this stage.
Statistics, feelings,
And ourselves.
We stand with the belief to be you, to be heard, and to be original.
We all may be different, with opinions and beliefs.
At the end of the day, we are all brothers and sisters.
We are family.
We ask that you join us in a magical journey with artists from around the world. Open your minds, let in the love,
and listen with your hearts.
We all want a better tomorrow. Be one.
Communicate and look out for one another. And then, and only then, will you find the world.
We will find peace in all the world.
You'll find the world. And you will find in this giant world heroes among us, and every boy and girl. Many have been broken, red hearts turn black. Love will melt the ice and turn it back, and you will find the world. You will find the world. You will find the world. And when you find a place called home, where everyone is free to roam, a whole new world, a better place for our children's futures at stake. And you'll find, with music in your soul, laughter in your hearts, together we can grow a better place, with love in us all. And you will find, together we can save it all. And you will find a place called home, where everyone is free to roam, a better place, a whole new world,
Aviva Sings OUt, y'all.
As soon as the bill was done last year, I started meetings throughout my district. I've had many conversations with these folks. I'm still telling you, this is a fee that is ridiculous.
I'm going to hit on the permit fee really quick. Senator Summers brought up, and Senator Summers, I do agree with you about making sure that this isn't a substantial burden. I will tell you, I know you were not here last year. I will tell you, when the bill come over from the House to the Senate, there was significant discussion about that. We actually lowered that fee in the Senate significantly, and in the time since then, I have become comfortable with raising it to the level that it's going to.
By random selection, David Rodabaugh, you may ask the first question.
My question goes out to Senator Harper as well as the Atlanta Press Club, hoping that somebody who's an investigative reporter looks into a few things. Mr. Harper, what's your involvement with Second Century Ag in Ocilla, Georgia?
Thank you.
Look, one of the things I'm proud of my last 10 years in the state Senate is my ability to champion legislation that can help impact agriculture, impact our state's #1 industry. And one of those issues is hemp. I'm proud of the fact that I've worked hard on both sides of the aisle in a bipartisan manner with colleagues in both parties to ensure that we allow this industry to thrive. And I'm proud of the fact that we've allowed our farmers in this state to have an additional tool in the toolbox, so to speak.
We're shutting down our processing company.
I think the number that we've landed on here at 50 is palatable across the board.
You're real people who are buying it. It's not your corporate consumers.
An additional commodity that we can add to our state's commodity list.
And so you need real farmers that are able to process their own stuff to make sure that it's quality, it's pure, and that it's sold by reputation, not by whoever has the most money to brand.
All in favor of the amendment changing 50,000 to 10,000, raise your hand, please.
He did it. He raised his hand.
Senator Summers. Are you for changing from 50 to 10? Are you for changing the legislation? I just want to be sure you understand what you're doing. All right, raise your hand.
Mr. Rodabaugh, you get 30 seconds for a rebuttal.
I'll do my best and try to be very precise. The idea of there's some relation to that property and your hometown and actually the property your family lives in. So there must be some connection there I'd like to find out more about. I'd like to also ask about the $3 million loan that they received while you were serving in your role as Agriculture Associate Commissioner. I also think that there might be some things that we all want to understand that separates not this crop from the people, but the legislation that's keeping it away from the people.
Thank you very much.
Specifically, one big player is going to be able to stay in business, and it's going to put out all the other processors.
I do agree with you about making sure that this isn't a substantial burden.
We're shutting down our processing company.
You are?
I'd like to also ask about the $3 million loan that they received. You were serving in your role as Agriculture Associate Commissioner.
About? I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. I know nothing about what he's talking about. Nope. I don't know what he's talking about at all. Wait, do people know about this? Fudge.
I really don't think at this point any souls are going to be one way or the other.
Alright, here's what we can do. We can put this address here. Find your legislator. Each state has processor who is your legislator. Okay. And your legislator. Let's go to another processor. That's where the business is, but... Alright then.
Why would Tyler support a high fee after he so level-headedly wanted to reduce the fee?
The permit fee and even the
You see, after this meeting, the fee was lowered to $25,000 with a $10,000 renewal fee until the next year when...
Wait, what?
In the time since then, I have become comfortable with raising it to the level that it's going to.
So what happened to make him more comfortable with a high hemp processing fee? Since here,
Can we have a conversation about reducing the permit fee?
when he obviously asked to lower it to be the same as other states. And then all of a sudden now the fee was raised to a $50,000 annual renewal fee, which put many Georgia hemp processors out of business and hurt our hemp farmers, consumers, and entrepreneurs.
We're shutting down our processing company.
So wait, raising the fee hurt our industry? It didn't hurt me. So how does the Georgia Department of Community Affairs have all that money to give? Well, I'm going to show you something. This is crazy. They cut Fred and my testimonies out of the live stream today in the Senate Ag Committee. Look, hearing. Look at this. So I'm not editing here.
All right, Mr. Fred Swan
He introduces Fred,
with Greening, Georgia.
and then it cuts straight to the end of mine.
Showed your testimony and your passion.
And this is on the Zoom. I'll link it below. You can see yourself.
I know, he's very lovable.
What do you think happened in those 15 minutes? That was so bad that they had to cut it out. Okay, so my friend Ted Metz, who's running for Secretary of State, by the way, was able to screen capture it on his phone. So apparently, if you watch this on your phone, then this footage is not redacted. And neither is my frizzy hair. So here it
Fee
is.
they recommend for Alabama, for example, goes along with that is $1,000. The other thing that's really prohibiting us is the fact that we can't sell the raw hemp. I want to talk about hemp seeds and how nutritious they are and how they have all 9 omegas and protein, and she would buy fresh from homesteaders who grew the seeds. But nobody can do that in Georgia. It's okay, it's okay. If we change the legislation so that we can allow the raw hemp flower and permit every single person along that chain, the retailers, the wholesalers, the distributors, the farmers, everyone, the manufacturers, and just charge the $650, we're going to have millions of dollars. Like, we really will. And we could also appropriate the $3 million that we gave to one processor, Second Century Ag, who was supposed to create jobs. We could use that to create jobs for all of us. Give that to if you really need the money.
How many more inspectors are we going to put on the field to go check what's in a convenience store? The funding initiatives, I think I'm told, and we've had some discussions, that probably works pretty well in Florida from a standpoint of balancing out where more people are paying. But how many more? Do we know how much money that is? And then are y'all going to be willing to dedicate that money to fund the program?
Aviva, we sure appreciate your testimony and your passion.
Thank you.
And we love scribbles.
I addressed one thing. I think we're saying $3 million to this Second Century. I believe that was a Georgia loan they made through a company. I don't think that's state gave them that money. I think that's a loan through Georgia, the Georgia Rural Jobs Tax Credit. That's where that money came from.
Now, you may not know, but keep in mind it's very special to be able to get a loan as a cannabis hemp business because many banks refuse, as I cover in this video that I'm linking below, part 2 of ending the cannabis Georgia prohibition.
The hemp industry in Georgia, even in its infancy, might be at jeopardy. So that's my understanding. Yes, ma'am.
I'm more concerned about the money that was loaned to Second Century Ag than I am about the felony charges right now. We had farmers that were not paid, and Representative Corbett said that these were not state dollars that were given or loaned to. Where did the money come from? Okay, so that's still taxpayer dollars in that we are using those taxpayer dollars to give a company, a startup company, that did not follow through on their due diligence or whatever promises made to those farmers, right? That's my concern. That's a huge concern. And hopefully going forward, we can take care of this, be attentive to it, and not allow it to happen, because we still have farmers out there that have not been paid. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Chairman.
Well
Sam.
said.
No, Sam. All right.
Here's a quick test you can do to see if your voice is warmed up. This is assuming you've already done some warm-ups. Pick an upper chest note, a note that you can belt. Hey! Then flip back and forth between chest and head voice on that same note. Hey! Do different vowels. Ooh, 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 ee. If you're able to make that transition and have good closure, so a pure tone after that flip into your head voice, there's a strong chance you are well warmed up. If you feel raspy or you feel like that transition isn't able to be very abrupt, then you need to do a little bit more warming up. Hey, Chris Liepe here with 3 tips for making singing high way easier. We make it way too difficult. In this video, these tips are really going to help. Love it all! Ooh, love it all! But you're not going to have full access to the benefits of these tips if you don't have the basics down. If you want to get the basics down with your singing, click the link below and join my free voice course. Once you've gone through those videos, doing these tips is going to be a lot more enriching and powerful for your singing. Tip number 1 for making singing higher easier. Make your singing more about the rhythm than the pitch. And to do this, start moving your body and start breathing rhythmically. And don't worry about being stupid. I'm stupid all the time and I don't care. I just made up a groove and I'm moving with it. And my breath is acting as kind of a percussion instrument. How is this helping me sing high? Well, when you are moving and when you are moving in rhythm, you can't do it well and in rhythm if you are tense. If you are loose, which moving with the rhythm helps you do, you will have an easier time singing high. If you're focusing on getting pitches or hitting some certain goal, you are not probably moving. In fact, you're probably doing this and tensing up to try to reach that note. So, from the onset, when you're practicing, move. Make it about the rhythm in whatever you're trying to sing and internalize that rhythm with your breath and your body. Tip number 2, love it all. Don't worry about trying to hit a certain note in a certain way. We tend to tense up and make singing high way more difficult than we need to because we're listening to other vocalists and we have incorrect perceptions about how they're getting to the notes they're getting to. So, if you're loose and you're in the moment, practice throwing your voice and just making sound that is not married to hitting a particular note, but is going higher. Not targeted even to a note, just higher, just like my voice is going higher, like this. We combine that with rhythm. Now, what have I done here? aside from being very random and making some stupid sounds, I have unlocked freely higher sounds. Yeah, I'm going into head voice. I'm being very random, but I am loose enough because I'm not trying to achieve that I can utilize these higher areas of my voice. If I was going for a particular pitch, I would seize up. That's tip number 2. Love whatever comes out of your mouth as you're experimenting. Yeah. A 1, a 2, a throw your voice so high. And tip number 3, check yourself. Record yourself doing these stupid things, and then listen back and hear how you accidentally hit notes that were super high and free. Because I'm not reaching, because I'm freely expressing with no goals in mind and just throwing my voice in different ways, loving whatever comes out of my mouth, I will now go and check what notes I've accidentally hit. Yeah. Okay, yeah. What's that? Yeah. That's pretty close. Yeah. C sharp 5. That's just the beginning. Yeah. A 1, a 2, a 1, a 2. See, I'm imitating what I did in Freedom. 1, a 2. G sharp 4, G4. A 1, a 2, a Ooh. B4. Higher. D5. Throw your voice so high. So high. Between D5 and D sharp 5. Wow, and that was not me going, I gotta hit that note. This right here is how I learned to sing high. By throwing my voice in random ways, being super free and super loose, and then reverse engineering the feel I had when I was free, when I wasn't striving. And then using that sensation, that feeling of freedom, when I start singing real songs. Yeah, it doesn't start out pretty, but it starts out free. And as you square feeling with the joy of singing as opposed to striving with the struggle of singing, you will be able to freely sing high, and it's not going to be such a big deal. Hope this was helpful. We'll see you for more.
Hi, this is Mike from BandLab. Did you know that BandLab has new pitch shifting effects? In this video, we'll show you how to use pitch shifter and multi-shifter to thicken vocals, make pitch shifted beat effects, and create huge soundscapes. If you find this guide useful, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be the first to know when new videos drop. BandLab's new pitch shift effects are easy to use, but powerful, so you can employ them to create a wide variety of effects. Let's start with some simple vocal pitch shifting. I open BandLab Sounds, then click the Loops tab and set the instrument filter to voice. I drag Blue 90 C# minor dry Vox In Love 2 into the project.
Am I in love with you?
I then bring up the effects panel and add a pitch shifter effect. This effect changes the pitch of the input signal to a value determined by the shift knob. This is currently set to -5 semitones, so it takes the vocal down a perfect fourth interval.
Am I in love with you?
We can pitch the vocal down an entire octave by setting the shift knob to -12.
Am I in love with you?
Currently, we're hearing just the wet, processed signal. We can mix the dry, unprocessed vocal back in with the mix knob. With a mix setting of 40%, we can get a cool effect where the pitch down vocal thickens the original.
Am I in love with you?
Let's try pitch shifter on another type of sound. In a new project, I open BandLab Sounds, enter Rave into the text search field, and open the Rave 2020 pack. I set the instrument filter to beats, and drag Rave 2020 Beat 07 into the project. I add a pitch shifter effect, and click the Show Hide Automation button. I set the automation lane to pitch shifter, shift, and automate the parameter to go from -12 semitones at the start of the sound to +12 semitones at the end of the sound. This gives us a cool pitch bending effect on the beat, and by setting the pitch shifter to a different input type mode, we can get a different quality of effect. Currently the input type is set to vocal. Let's change it to percussion. This mode helps preserve the beat's transients and gives us a punchier sound. General mode is an all-purpose mode, which is more focused on texture than transients, and gives us some interesting results as the pitch reaches its upper limit. Let's set the input type back to percussion and remove the pitch automation. I set the pitch to +12, and then automate the mix between 0 and 100 instead. This switches up between the dry signal and the pitch shifted one. Now let's check out the multi-shifter effect. This works in a similar manner to the regular pitch shifter effect, but it features 6 different pitch-shifted voices that you can dial in to create some awesome sounds. In BandLab Sounds, I click the Loops tab, then set the instrument filter to voice and the genre filter to electronic. I drag LD100C vocal pad 4-bar into the project. Unprocessed, this is just a single pitch. Let's add the multi-shifter. You can hear straight away that this effect adds more pitches, and we can control the level of these pitches with the 6 knobs at the bottom of the effect. We can also control the level of the dry signal with the knob on the right. To get a better understanding of how this effect works, let's turn all the voices, including the dry signal, down. Now let's dial in the voices one by one. As you can hear, this builds up a big harmonic sound. Clearly, this is a great way to get involving, musically rich tones. This effect also features an input type setting. Let's change this to General, which alters the character of the pitch shifting. We can get an epic soundscape effect by adding a reverb, studio reverb effect, then turning the size and mix parameters all the way up. Try using pitch shifter and multi-shifter on your vocals or other sounds to see what you come up with. Have fun!
Bonjour. Je pense que je chanson en français. Maintenant, une chanson jolie que Je l'aime beaucoup, 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 beaucoup. Je ne parle pas français très bien, mais j'attends. Bonjour, JR. Comment ça va? Je parle français, bonne nuit. En chanson très spéciale en français pour tous les tours. Je parle en français pour toi. Alors, je chantais cette chanson pour toi. D'accord? D'accord. Un proverbe dit l'amour aveuglé. Un aussi aussi. Oh, un moment. C'est pas bon. Alors, comme ça. Merci beaucoup, Todareba. J'ai besoin de 4 euros. Un moment. D'accord. D'accord. Très bien. D'accord. Mouah. Un proverbe dit l'amour aveuglé. En audition, cherchez pour trouver. Je cherche un gaillard qui m'est resté dans l'idée. Regardant partout, sans le rencontrer. C'est le gars que je ne puis oublier. Le seul homme à qui je pense avec regret. Mon nom, pour ces énergies, je le changerai. Où est la brebis perdue? Où est le berger? Il est en quelqu'un que je veux revoir chaque matin et chaque soir, et qui me protégera. Je suis un brebis perdu dans le bois. Je donnerai toute ma foi à qui me Quoi qu'il ne soit pas, oh non, passé dans grande beauté de mon cœur, il porte la clé. Dans Louise disant de bien châter, j'ai tant besoin de ce quelqu'un quelqu'un pour moi protéger. Bonne nuit. Mwah.
How many takes do you think it took for me to get this right? Or this? Or this? When you're working on a project, how many takes does it take for you to get discouraged? For you to check out a little bit or become so tense you don't quite know what to do with yourself? There's a huge problem we have to recognize when it comes to performing or singing on YouTube versus making something in the studio without anybody watching, or even performing live where you've got lots of people watching. And it has to do with expectations. How many times or how many surgical magic tricks did it take, do you think? Got one shot. What about this one? Yep. Live.
She got a smile that it seems to me reminds me of childhood memories where everything wanted.
When you're in the studio creating a sonic work of art, particularly with your voice, it's expected and really enthralling to go over a particular passage of a song and make it the very best it can possibly be. When I'm doing it, I lose track of the amount of takes that it takes. I'm totally involved in how my voice feels and what it's capable of and how I can create the best moment for the listener over this particular passage. What that means is that a lot of times when I'm in the studio creating these vocal lines, that I'll go piece by piece. I'll experiment, and then when I find something that feels good and sounds better, I'll put it down. And then I'll move on and go to the next one. Or maybe I'll just do a verse and then add a bunch of background vocals. And the overall experience for the listener when they get done is, oh, whoa. Listen to this performance and listen to all of the orchestrations and all of the supporting tracks that make this vocal sound incredible and really pull at my heartstrings as I listen to it.
Jane, so tell me how it should. 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 Jane, so tell me how it should.
When you're live, that stuff doesn't really exist. When you're live, you have this audience to feed off of. Stage presence, and you have lights, and you have the energy of the band behind you. And so the nitty-gritties of the actual vocal performance, they're not only not scrutinized as much, they don't matter in the same way, because it's a completely different experience. When we look at YouTube and the video medium combined with the sound that we hear and the fact that we can replay the videos over and over and over again, we run into the problem that plagues every musician on social media. Well, there's sort of expectations that it should be live or all in one take or not messed with too much, but the sound I expect in my head, I'm comparing to studio level recordings. This is huge. Believe me, it's huge. Not only as a consistent creator, but for my students and for other people that want to create music to be enjoyed on this new medium, or the sort of standard way of being seen and heard. And it goes both ways, right? Oh, I saw so-and-so on YouTube and they performed just absolutely amazing. And it looked like it was one take. I could never do that. And when I try, I just seize up. I have performance anxiety. I can't do it. Or you see something and go, that's not real. There's pitch correction on there. Oh, they must have done that 1,000,000 times. Or, oh, the mouth didn't sync up with the, or whatever. Judgment based on expectation creeps in either way and poisons your ability to create, your ability to perform. I don't want that for you. Here's how to get around it. Start embracing and enjoying the process of piecing together a vocal performance or a performance in general as you're working out how to make it the best it can possibly be. Get your recording equipment set up and take things line by line, sometimes word by word, and record all of it. Don't worry about how many punches you have. Don't worry about how many takes. Don't worry about trying to sing lines all the way through. Just worry about creating the very best sonically pleasing, engaged performance that you possibly can, even though it's done in pieces. I remember reading an article about a guitarist named Steve Vai, who said that this is how he composed and learned his guitar solos for his instrumental guitar. And this is what got me on the track of doing it with my voice. I don't get tired because I don't have to sing the song all the way through a bunch of times. I can learn and craft and compose piece by piece. Never mind that I can't sing what I'm recording all the way through right now. It doesn't matter. I'm creating something great. So that's the first thing. Get in the habit of being okay with piecing things together as you're learning and constantly giving yourself feedback on what works and what doesn't work as you're doing this process. That goes for other production elements that you might be hearing that you want to try in the moment after you've done this one little thing. What would this sound like if I doubled it? What would this sound like with more reverb or delay? What would it sound like if I sang it slightly differently? You're building something and you're having creative time doing it. Then, once you've gotten your cobbled together, comped together take and all the experimenting, but you listen back and you go, oh wow, that really, really speaks to me as an overall performance. Take a step away, and then start singing it all the way through, along with the experience that you've had recording it in pieces. Do this for several days. You are going to be absolutely floored at what happens with your own voice and mind as you start to sing whatever this song is, whether it's an original or a cover, as you start to sing this thing all the way through. Yeah, it's not going to be perfect. It's actually not even going to be as good as the one that you meticulously labored over, or the 120 you meticulously labored over. But there's something that happens. You have programmed your muscle memory, your mind, to approach things in ways that you never would have if you had just stepped up to the microphone and started trying to go for it and doing it the best you can, or choosing one take that works the very best for whatever setting you're singing in. Once you've internalized this labor of love you've created, turn on those cameras, make your video, and sing your song. Yeah, these takes are not going to be perfect, but they're going to be really good. And they're going to be based on the emotional engagement, the creativity that you had when nobody was watching. It's the perfect balance. And when you're filming yourself, be okay to punch in and out. Be okay to do partial or multiple takes, just as you did when you're in the studio. Use different camera angles so you can creatively cut between different takes in a way that's still engaging. We as musicians are creating for a new environment, a new medium, and it's absorbed and taken in a very different way than really any other medium previously. It's not about pride, it's not about perfection, it's about creating an emotionally engaged experience for you to share with other people. Whether you're creating your own songs, or whether you're covering songs as a fan, as a tribute to an artist that you love. YouTube and other platforms have created a tremendous opportunity to be seen and heard like never before. Don't let the fear, expectation, or judgment on your part or the part of others keeping you from making wonderful experiences for yourself and creating wonderful works of musical art that you can share with others. If you'd like more help with your own voice and your production and your mindset, click the link below and join my free voice course. I'd love to work with you more deeply. We'll see you for more.
Thank you, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to Angified Presents Tune In for Tuesday. We're going to be going ahead and stop streaming here for a hot minute, and we will be back to you in a moment with the upside of hurt. I'll see you then.
All right. So today we are discussing how to develop, really hone your own sound as a vocalist. And I've got some insights, but I've also got a lot of...
I love you, oh loves. Do you have those? Do you wanna share them with me? I love you, oh loves. Oh, do you have those? I'd like to share mine with you. Can we share? Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love or hate?